Welcome back to the Goat podcast. This is your host, Krissie the Goat, and I do have a very special guest with me today, YaYa. You want to go by YaYa? I see.
Yeah, that's my name.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
Mhm.
How are you?
I'm good, good. How about you?
I'm okay. You nervous?
A little bit, but
A
I'm
little
prepared.
bit. Good. See? Okay. I don't even got none, so I'm gonna be like, okay. But yeah, that's crazy. I thought I had some Kleenex in here, but I'll be all right. So this episode is to talk about losing someone special. Um, I just want to get your take, on the whole situation. See
Mhm.
how you feel, how you felt, how you deal with everything. So, do you want to tell us or the people who you lost?
Yeah, I lost my best friend, my child's father. My other half, somebody very, very close to me. Probably the closest person to me at the time. You know, like 3 years ago, going on 3 years, right?
We
Going on.
there pretty much.
I was actually sleeping. I was on the couch, asleep, and I was actually waiting for him. My phone had been dead, so you called my grandma's phone. I think you called my grandma's phone, right? You called her phone, and she came downstairs, waking me up. It was like probably like 7 in the morning. I think if I'm remembering right, it was like 7 in the morning, and she came downstairs and woke me up, and she was like, "Your baby grandma is trying to get in contact with you. I got on the phone with you." And then you told me, and I could hear it in your voice like something wasn't right because I never, you was breathing out hard, and you was like, they saying that CJ got shot, and I didn't know how to feel, so I just was kind of inside the phone, like quiet, like. And I just remember my heart beating like so fast because prior to you calling me, I remember I was laying down, I was asleep, and you know how you have a dream and you don't really remember, you just briefly remember it, and it don't even be a dream. It's like, what do you call it? Like a kind of like a scene, I guess you could say, like a scene. I had like this little scene in my head, well, in my dream, and it was, I
Like a
remember,
premonition, kind of.
yeah, and I remember it. I will never forget it. It was, I remember seeing yellow tape, and I remember seeing the police, but I don't know, like, I kind of woke up and I was like, dang, like, and so I remember texting his phone, like, if you're, what did I say? I said, if you're not inside right now, please be safe. And that was the last message I sent him. He never texted me back. And then that's when I got the call from you, and we went on from there.
I remember that. Well, of course I do. I had been blowing you up,
Yeah, and my phone
and
was dead.
I think your phone was actually ringing though. So I didn't know that it was dead, but it was ringing, 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 ringing. I had called you, I don't even know how many times, but I was definitely calling you. And then I had remembered that I had your grandma's number. And
Uh-huh.
so that's when I had called. How did you react? Like after we got off the phone, I guess you can say.
Um, I didn't know what to do. Like, I was just like kind of, I was walking back and forth, and I didn't say nothing to nobody in the house. I think my sister was asleep because that's usually my go-to. That's who I go talk to. But I think she was asleep. My grandmother was up because she's always up early, and my mom was up, but she was getting ready for work or something, whatever she was doing. And I didn't say nothing to nobody. I didn't tell nobody about the phone call. I just was like, "What? do I do? What do I say? How do I? Because I've never been through anything like that. So I was just like kind of pacing back and forth, and I remember my hands was like shaking, and I was sitting on the bed. I think my mom had walked past me, and I was like, "Mom," and she was like, "What? Like, what's wrong with you?" And I was like, "CJ's mom just said that he got shot," and she was like, "What? Is he okay?" Or however she reacted, and I was just looking at her like, and she wasn't really like a good um she wasn't the right person to talk to because she was just kind of like nonchalant about it, like, and I remember being mad at her about that because it's like, dang, like throughout the whole time I was going through that, she really wasn't a good shoulder to cry.
Comfort.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she wasn't a good comfort. Later, like a year or something later, she did come to me and tell me like, I didn't know how to comfort you as your mom. I didn't know what to do for you. I'd never been through that. I don't know. I didn't know how you felt. I didn't know how to comfort you. So she did tell me that. We did talk about that, but I just remember being anxious. I was anxious, like, dang, I hope this is not what I think it is. Like, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna go crazy. So we had got in a car and we drove to the address that you sent me. And the whole time we were driving there, I was just like staring out the window, like I didn't know how to feel. I just was kind of in a shock. I think I was like, in denial, I guess I could say. I was kind of in denial because I was just like, I don't think, I'm just hoping that this man call my phone right now. Like, what's up? Where everybody at? Or, I just was like, please be a mistake. Like, so I didn't really feel, I don't know, I was just kind of in shock, I guess.
And I remember that was actually the first thing I said to you. I asked if you had talked to him. And then I asked when the last time you talked to him. And that was kind of me hoping to hear something different because you hear all the time that somebody got shot or got hurt or anything, or you might even hear like that somebody died, but
It's
you
false.
later find out like, yeah, like, okay, well, it wasn't that bad. Something did happen, but they're still here.
Yeah,
And that's what bothered me the most too. When I got that phone call, it was like, it wasn't like he got shot or he was at the hospital or
yeah,
something happened. It was like straight out, like
he's gone.
they're saying that he's dead.
That's why when you called me, he was like, he got shot. I'm like, why are they saying that? And I've been thinking about that. Like, that was a stupid question, but I didn't know what to say. Like, I was
Right.
not expecting for you to be getting on the phone with me telling me that. Like, so I was like, wait, what? Why are they saying that? And I kind of was hoping, I remember hoping, like, please call my phone right now. Or if you
Yeah.
are hurt, please be somewhere in a hospital. Please let there be a fighting chance or something. Like I can't even remember like all the stuff that was going through my head because it was so much. Like I just remember my heart was going 1,000 beats per minute. Like um, it was crazy. That morning was crazy.
The car ride going to the scene.
Um, it
I know
was
you said you were like just looking out the window, but was it just silence or were people trying to talk to you or tell you like it's gonna be okay?
Yeah, I was in the car with my brother, my grandmother, and my auntie. And to me, the ride was silent. It was a long, silent ride. But they probably was talking and stuff, but I just was like in my own little world and I was just staring out the window like, hey, like, please. I just remember praying, please don't be what they saying, like, so for me, it was a silent ride. I wasn't crying. I wasn't talking. I was just there. I was just there. Like I just was looking like out the window the whole time. I remember just looking out the window the whole time. I don't remember if anything was being said. I just remember it being silent. For me, it was silent. It was just a silent ride. And then when we did pull up, I didn't even want to get out the car. I was just like,
That's what I was gonna ask you when you did pull up, because I know when I pulled up, I wasn't expecting to pull up and there be all these people around.
yeah.
So that was a even big shock. Of course, like seeing the yellow tape, but when I seen just the crowd, like my heart just dropped.
I didn't think that I. It was the same for me. Like I didn't think it was gonna be like police. I didn't think it was gonna be yellow tape. I didn't think. I feel like I wasn't thinking that it was that serious because again, I was like, no, no, like no. So when I did get that and I see how serious it was, I just remember being even more anxious and my heart beating even faster. Like, and I'm still shaking. Like I just was like, no. And then while we were sitting there waiting, that just made my anxiety go even more up because I'm like, who is it? Come back and tell us that it was not him. It was, somebody else or whatever it may
Right.
be. And I know he didn't have his ID on him because I had his ID. He left it at the house for me. So I was just like, please be a mistake. Like, this is not real.
How did you react with Kaylani?
When I got home from leaving the scene, I remember I left her with my sister, and when I got to the house, by the time I got to the house, they had passed the message on to my sister and whoever else was at the house. So she just when I walked in the house, she just hugged me and she had Kay. And I remember grabbing her and just holding her, like, and crying so hard. And when Kay was a baby, she was tiny. Like, everybody used to ask me, was she a preemie because she was so tiny. So I just remember holding her so tight and just hugging her, crying, 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 because I'm just like, what I'm gonna do without your daddy? Like, that was my best friend. Like, I depended on him. We were supposed to get a spot, everything. He told me I didn't have to work, so it's like I depend on him. So I got this 2-month-old baby. What am I gonna do? And I never wanted no baby. Like, it's not a big secret that we talked about getting an abortion, but plans change. So I never wanted no baby. So when I just remember thinking like, what am I gonna do? And I just was holding her so tight, just hugging her, and I was just crying, 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 crying. But later down the line, it got hard with her. I was just like, I'm giving up.
Before we get like too deep, how did you meet him?
We met at school. We met at high school. Of course, his name was like already like ringing bells because he did music and he's been for a minute. So of course his name was already like ringing bells and stuff. And I just was like, I'm not a fan of him. Like just think he all that. I'm not a fan of him. And we had a class with each other. I think it was some class that we didn't need. I think it was like what do they call it? In high school. And I think in high school it's not called social studies, but that's what kind of class it was. Social
Like an
something.
elective? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Like your homeroom.
whatever it was. We just used to goof off in that class, so I had him in that class, and we just used to always be playing around, just doing stuff. So we met in high school, and um, I I want to say we both was like feeling each other. We had a crush on each other, but we never really took it there. I used to tell him, "You too short for me. I cannot take you serious. You too short for me." Because he was little. I'm like, "You too short
Mhm.
for me. I can't take you serious." But you cute though. Like, so we didn't really like get serious until after we both graduated and we started creeping and sneaking around.
Mhm.
So,
Well, so when did that happen? Like from you saying, "Oh, I don't like him." Mm-mm,
um,
I wouldn't do that to you. Kind of cute.
um, probably it took probably like couple I want to say like a couple months, honestly, because we both went to Centennial my freshman year, and that's where I met him at. But like I said, I was like, no, probably like my sophomore year. So freshman year, I was like, mm-mm. And then probably sophomore year is when I was like, yeah, yeah. I used to tell people, he off limits. Don't talk to him. But we really wasn't. So I couldn't really say that. But so what? A school year?
Did it start as a friendship,
Uh,
or y'all just started liking each other?
no. Well, I don't know. It's a little complicated because we weren't really friends. It didn't start off as friends. We just was like, I think I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. We just started having sex with each other. Like we
Okay.
just linked up one day and like that's just how it was. And then we started being friends and started kicking and stuff like that. And then eventually I was like, you my man, like we go together. But we wasn't like friends at first. We was cool, like when we speak, it was we was. I mean, when we see each other, we spoke. It was cordial, but we wasn't like. I wouldn't say that we was really friends though. We had fun. We had fun. It was close. Like from the beginning, we was always like locked in for real. Like we had fun with each other, but when times was like serious, we knew like okay, we gotta be grown ups. We gotta be grown ups right now. So, but we still have fun though. We still had our moments where we were still being like childish and but
Hmm.
I don't know.
Fast forwarding to his funeral. You had never been to a funeral, even as a child. Explain how that was for you.
Uh, I think like as a kid, I want to say as a kid, I probably been to like one funeral maybe, but I was a baby, so I don't remember it. But I was when I don't count that because I don't remember. I was a baby.
Right.
But like as an adult or as some understanding adult that knows what's going on, I have never been to a funeral before. So when it was time for his funeral, it was like it was hard because I didn't know what to expect. I only see what I saw on movies or what I've heard. I have never been to a funeral before, especially not for nobody so close to me. Like this is not just a friend or you know
Right.
a long lost cousin. This is somebody that I was with every day. This is my best friend. This is the closest person to me. Like, so it was definitely hard. And then especially with like COVID going on, so we did it. We had it live stream and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So it kind of felt like everybody was watching and everybody was there. Like, and then to see the support was just like this is crazy. Like, I don't. I think the night before I didn't get any sleep, and then I slept at your house. Didn't I spend the night at your house the
Mm-mm.
night before?
No, because I was at my mom's for like 3 months after I
Oh,
was
I
at my
think I spent the night at your house the night before the viewing. I can't remember, but I know the night before I didn't get no sleep, like because I didn't know what to expect. I was nervous, like dang, I don't know. It was that was definitely something like something crazy.
Definitely. It was different for me because I had never, like, I've been to many funerals, family, friends, supporting someone else, but I've never been to a funeral that had that much attention,
Yeah.
like how nobody could come inside, but the parking lot was
Yeah,
crowded.
the attention was a lot too.
Did that
Definitely,
make it hard for you?
kinda because it's like all these people that I didn't know, coming up to me and trying to tell me this, that, and the third. I don't want to hear none of this. Y'all knew him, but y'all don't know me. Like it kind of was like really no privacy
Yeah.
throughout that whole little process. So it was that the attention was definitely something that was hard. for me as well, and especially with my baby because everybody wanted to see the baby. You know, she was
Mhm.
fresh; she was only 2 months. So everybody wanted to see the baby and meet the baby. So a lot of these people are meeting me for the first time. They're meeting his daughter for the first time, and they all know him. But so kind of that was a lot too, and the viewing was a lot as well because I have never even seen like nobody in that
Yeah, these
state
people.
before,
Yeah.
except for again on the movie. So that was something crazy for me as well. And I remember walking into the room and I had Kay in my hand, and I wanted to take her with me. I took her in there with me, and it's like the closer we got to the casket, she just was like tripping. Like I remember right when we walked up, she started screaming and crying out of nowhere, and I was just like, "You remember that?" She was
Hmm.
tripping. Like I had to have, I had somebody take her out because she was tripping. Like she just started crying out of nowhere, and I just like, dang. I remember going home thinking like, did I traumatize my baby? Like I know she's a baby and she don't know what's going on, but babies really do be knowing. So I'm like, dang, like did I just traumatize
She
my
felt it.
baby? Like, cause she was just tripping out of nowhere. That was weird to me. I will never forget that.
Hard, but how did you prepare? Like having her, how did you prepare for the viewing and the funeral?
I kind of I just was like, I don't even know how, I don't know how I did it. I just was like, I have to do it. I know I have to do it. So I'm gonna do it. But it was hard because she still was so young and I was still young. Like, so it was hard. I don't really know how I did it. I just did it. Like I know I had to, you know. And I think with you too, you helped me a lot too because I probably would have been like cooped up somewhere in a room or something. But you would text my phone and stuff, and I was like, I have to do. This is something I have to do. Like, so
Hmm.
I kind of didn't. I didn't really prepare. I just did it. Like,
Just went with it. That's what I tell people that all the time when they're like, how did you do this? How did you do that? I've even had people reach out to me like to help with funeral arrangements. And it's like, I don't do this. Like, this is not my life. This is, well, it is, but like, this is not what I do. Like, at that time, I was just moving
yeah,
throughout life, but not knowing how I was doing it. I just felt like like you said, I just had to keep going. I knew what I had to do. I knew I had to make it happen.
yeah,
And I just took it day by day. Like I didn't think about the next day, the future, anything like that. Like even still to this day, it's still day by day. So when people ask like, how did you handle it, or how are you so strong, like I have my moments, and when I say that, like all the time, and people even tell me like, you're so blessed, or I've even talked to other mothers that have lost their children, and they're like, you're so blessed because he left you something, and I don't have that, but that's a gift and a curse. Looking at her, it's like there's those good memories, and then literally looks just like him from when he was the age that she is now, from when she was a baby. I don't know if or when that'll ever change, but like she favor you at times. But she really looks so much like him. So it's like looking at him all over again. And I enjoy that. But there's times where I feel like I can't look at her. I
yeah,
feel like I don't want to. I have to like separate myself. And it's crazy because those are the times where she wants to be super mushy and up under me. It's like, is this him? Is it a sign, or does she just feel what I'm going through at the time? Because it's like I can't break away from her at those times. But then even I also I feel so bad because just thinking about what she has to go through. Like she's already been through it, and the things that she's grown into and the questions that she's had, or the fact that even though she doesn't have a relationship with him or can't have that relationship with him, she knows exactly who he is. Like you can't tell her anybody else is her dad. You can't tell her anything else. Like she knows. She knows what he looks like. She knows who he is from childhood pictures. Like she knows that's my dad when he was a kid.
She's at that age where she knows what like parents are. She knows
Right.
that I'm supposed to have a mom and I'm supposed to have a dad. So sometimes she be like saying little stuff and I just be like,
How does it make you feel, and how do you handle it with her? Like what do you tell her?
I personally feel like she's still too young. So when she does like say certain stuff, I just kind of ignore it. And sometimes she'll like repeat herself, and I just be like, okay, okay, I heard you. But I don't know. I wonder where what she think. I wonder where she think he is because sometimes she'll like the other day she told me that she wanted to see her daddy, and I just was like, you want to be what? I was in the bathroom. We were brushing our teeth, and she had just woke up, and she told me that she wanted to see her daddy, and I was like, bro, what? Like I have never heard her say that before, so it was just kind of. I didn't really say nothing. I just was like, I kind of just walked away, like, okay, and I just walked away because I don't know what to tell her. I don't know, like, I feel like she's still young, so what do you tell a 3 year old? You know,
Right.
what can you
Right.
say? So I really don't say nothing right now.
How does it affect you when she asks you those questions? Because I know one time she asked me, can she go to her dad's house? Which I know what that means. Just like when she's with me, she says, I want to go to my mom's house, or I want to go over to my uncle's house, or things like that. So I know exactly what she means when she says that.
I don't know. Sometimes I be thinking like, girl, you be talking to your daddy or something because what? Like you, I don't know. I kind of like, I try to like put it in the back of my mind. I try not to let it like really bother me because if I do, it will really bother me. So I try
Yeah.
not to let it bother me for real. I just be like, close it down. Like I don't know because I don't know. Like I don't know what to tell her. I don't know how to sit down and explain it to her. Maybe if I do try to sit down and explain to her, maybe she will understand because she's so smart. But I don't think that will stop the questions and telling her she
Right.
wants to see her dad or can you listen to this song, play his song? She's still gonna do the same thing. I feel like so. I kind of just try to block it out.
And we were just talking about this, and as you said that, it kind of made more sense to me how I told you she's going to need therapy. Have you ever went through therapy for this?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but remember when it was like it was still fresh. I think it was like before the funeral, maybe. I was going through it bad. I had really bad anxiety. I didn't want to leave the house. I was scared that these people was going to try to double back and hurt me and his baby. So I was like, I was really going through it, and I remember waking up in the middle of the night one night, calling your phone, crying, telling you like, I can't do this. I don't want this baby no more. I don't want to be here. I just want to go be with him. In the beginning, I really strongly felt like if he's not here to be with me in Kehlani, then I don't want to be here at all. Like I'm gonna go be with him. Like I really felt like I wanted to go be buried with him. So I knew that that was not healthy because I still have to be strong for myself. I still have to be strong for my 3 month old baby. So I did reach out and get therapy. At first, I wasn't going to. I feel like I didn't really think that it was gonna affect me as bad as it did.
Mhm.
So I did reach out to somebody, and I did go through therapy, and it helped. I think that it helped. So when people tell me like therapy does not work, we don't need therapy. A lot of black people be like therapy does not work. We don't need therapy. We just need to whatever. I
Put them
always
in your business.
yeah, I always be like incorrect because I went through it and it really did help me, and I strongly recommend it for anybody who needs it because it does help. But it was bad for me. Like I just wanted to. I even think I had thoughts of trying to end my own life and came on me. So once it got to that point, I knew like I need to go get help because this is crazy. Like I thought about giving her away to you guys. Y'all can just take her because I can't do it. And you know, when she was younger, like she came out looking. She took his face. So every single night to have to sleep with her with his face and look at her, and I still had to take care of my kids. So I'm looking at her every day. You know, so it was like super, super hard. Like, so I did reach out and get therapy. I do. I'm a firm believer in therapy.
Do you feel like you still need therapy now?
Sometimes, sometimes I do. I have reached out to my therapist to try to make an appointment. I just haven't fell through with it, but sometimes I do feel like I should talk to somebody because I feel like that affected me in a lot of different ways. So I do be like, I do
And
be
it's a lifelong situation that you have to deal with. Like
definitely.
every milestone for her is gonna be like a trigger for you.
That's why I be crying at every birthday party because I be like, dang.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially her first birthday party, I was just like, I don't think nobody understands. Like her first birthday party was a accomplishment for me. Like not even the celebration. Well, yeah, the celebration too, but just the fact that we made it. Like I used to talk to her like, "Girl, we did it. Like we made it to your first birthday party." Because, like I said, I had thoughts of getting rid of my life, taking my own life, and taking hers. Like giving her away, running away. Like you know. So when the first birthday party was really like, dang, we did it. We made it. I never thought that we would make it without your daddy, but we did it. Like you know. So yeah, definitely. I definitely feel that every milestone because yeah, I feel that.
I think now I'm not a therapist, so I don't know. But sitting here talking now, and how you said that um, you feel like she's too young, and I think the same things, but at the same time, she knows him, and she knows that he's not. Well, I'm not gonna say she know that he's not around, but she never sees him, and she has a lot of questions. So I think not waiting until she gets older, like maybe now, even just reaching out to your therapist or a therapist, um, to see if she's too young to even go that route, because
Yeah,
her therapist or someone may help you to make it easy on both of y'all, because like you said, she's only 3, but we know that she's really intelligent, so she may know. And you keep going into stuff that I'm gonna ask you, but you said that you felt like taking your own life. You feel like if he's not here, you really have nothing here, although you do. How do you balance that? Because for me, I have 3 kids, and then I now have a grandchild. So I have people to live for, but every night I lay down, I kind of feel like I don't have nothing to live for, because like I lost a child. I didn't just lose somebody. Like I birthed this child, and this is my first child that I birthed, and just knowing our relationship, that's hard. And I don't I just feel like often like, why am I here? Like, why should I even keep going on? But like you said, I have other children and I have a grandchild and I have you, but it's like it's a constant fight. It's a constant fight because it's just like it's pointless.
Yeah,
There's a big piece missing.
definitely. I kind of feel like uh, Kaylani is like what really helps me a
Hold
lot.
you together.
Yeah, because I don't know where I would be if we didn't have our child. Then I don't know. Like I can't even. I'm super thankful that we did, get to make her and create her before a tragedy happened because I would not be here today. So I kind of feel like the Kaylani is like the answer to the whole thing, honestly.
Used to have a lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah. And that's why I have thought about going to speak to somebody like, can you help me talk to him real quick? Because I do have a lot of unanswered questions, but I be second guessing it because
Oh, you mean like what do you call them? Like psychics,
yeah,
people like that.
yeah, I do be like second guessing it though because I be scared. I believe in like those spirits and stuff, like you opening up doors that you don't want to open up.
Yes.
I do believe in that, but sometimes I'd be like, I don't care. Especially in the when it was still fresh, like fresh in the beginning. That
Yeah.
was the first thing I wanted to do because I missed calls from him, and he also called my brother too. My brother missed calls from him too, so I just be wanted to know, like, dang, was you calling? Was that the call for help?
Like
Like,
when he and that's
so
so man.
I
Go ahead.
definitely would be thinking like in the beginning I definitely was like, I'm going to go talk to somebody. And my family thought I was crazy and I was like, don't do that. But I was just like, I don't care because I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. Like I just know
Yeah.
I had this crazy dream, woke up to another crazy dream, and then I don't know
No,
anything.
you're living in it.
So yeah, I do sometimes I do be wanted to I still do have unanswered questions, definitely.
That's man, that's hard for me. And I was working on my letter to the judge, my impact statement. And as I was just writing, I was just like going. Like I already had a letter, first off, like just because whenever I got the moment to go into court and speak, I didn't want to freeze up. I didn't want to forget anything. Like literally for the last couple years, I go back to my notes and I add to it and I add to it, things like that. But the other night I was just writing and I'm like I had got woke up to a call telling me that I was never going to be able to see my son again. I was never going to be able to talk to him. I was never going to be able to hug him. I was never going to be able to hear his laugh or see his smile, like all of those things, or just getting woke up. I'm used to getting woke up by him in the middle of the night and he yelling and he all hyped up like, mom, get up real quick. And I'm like, boy, like you scared me. I thought something was wrong. And then it's him telling me that he want me to listen to something or listen to this. Tell me how this sound with his music. And I'm like, boy, I get up, but I'm like, boy, like this what you woke me up for? Like what? Now when I get or I just like because I have really bad anxiety now. I had it before, but it's like really worse now. And I really can't go to sleep at night, still to this day. But when I do, I never have like I don't ever sleep through the night ever. And I'll just lay there, and my questions are always, what was his last words? What was his last thought? Like, did he think like, what about my mom? Or like, I got, like
Yeah.
my mom gonna be hurt, or I got a baby.
Yeah.
Like, damn, my baby. Like, did he know that he was dying? And even just like his last breath. And I know, talking to the boy that was in the car with him, like I asked all these same questions, like what did he say? Was he like, did he have a fight? Was he trying to like fight for his life? Was he trying to like fight to stay alive or anything? And he, like, all he ever said was, he was like, he just kept saying like, look, like stay up. And he's like, he just kept calling his name. And from what he said, his last word was like, huh. Like he just kept saying his name, and he's like, huh. And then he said he just watched him take his last breath.
Yeah. I always wonder if he was in pain. Like,
Yeah. Or like, I don't know. And now, like, not being able to go to trial, we'll never know. Like, if it was like on impact, or if it couldn't have been too much of a struggle, from because when he says that, he's saying like they was in the car on their way there, and he died like on the way to the location where he was left. But just still, like you said, you had missed calls from him. Were those calls of him trying to like get help or let you know like, I just got shot? Or was it before? Like, we don't know. We don't know. And that hurts me a whole lot. But I always think like, did he think about me before he died?
mm,
Because I'm sure he knew that, had that, even from when he got shot the first time. I didn't have a car at the time. And so we were like, I woke my kids up. We were walking, like trying to get to Lake Mead. I didn't even know how I was getting to UMC. I just knew I was getting there, and I couldn't reach nobody. And even when I finally got a hold of my mom, I was just like, I told her what happened. She's panicking, and she's like, I'm on my way. But I'm like, I'm already headed to the hospital. And she's
yeah.
like, how? Where you at? And I'm like, I'm walking. Like, I'm walking I'm going to get there. And when I got there, they didn't let us in. They wouldn't let me see him because, of course, it was an investigation. So
Yeah.
they wouldn't let me see him until they talked to him. And then I had to wait on the police to get approval and all of this stuff. And I'm like, okay, but I need to know, like, is he going to make it? Like, what's his condition right now at this point, or, whatever. And I just remember when I went back there, he was sitting up, and he was like, he had his shirt off and he was bandaged. And he was just like, Mom, are you okay? And I'm like, I was crying, but I'm like, boy, he was more worried about me being okay than himself.
Yeah.
So it's just always like, what did he think? Like, did he know that he was just not gonna make it, or was he scared that he wasn't gonna make it,
Yeah.
or scared like, and then just knowing like he on his way home to his baby, to his family, and
Yeah.
like, dang, like, was there any regret?
It really be eating me up too because that night I told him like just stay inside. Just don't go nowhere because we've been chilling, like we on quarantine. Y'all not supposed to be outside anyways, like and he told me like I can't. We've been chilling too much. Like I gotta go get us some money, and I just was like, I can't really because I know that you are the breadwinner, and I know how you get the money. So it's like, dang, like okay, you right. But I did like try to convince him to stay in the house. So it do be like eating me up because it's just like. And when he left, he had me drive him to the corner because he don't want people to know where he be at, where he stay at. So I drove him to the corner so he could meet the boy, and you know, he kissed me, he left, and then when I came back to the house, I had just pulled up to the house, and he called me, was like, "Turn around, I forgot something in the car." I'm like, "Dang, like it's always something with you." So I went back to him so he can get whatever he left in the car, and it was kind of weird because when he got out, this when he left me the second time, you know, he told me that he loved me, kissed me, or whatever. He was like, he told me to pray for him, and I just was like, "You'll never tell me to pray for you. Like, what's going on?" And that right there was a red flag. I should have made him stay. I should have tried to convince him to stay more because, like, that was weird. Like, you don't never tell me to pray for you. And I that eats me up too because that night I tried to stay up for him so when he come back I could open up the door for him because he wasn't gonna be able to get in. Like he probably would have, but so I was trying to stay up for him, but I ended up falling asleep and I did not pray for him like he told me to. So in the morning when I got the call, that's the first thing that I thought. I didn't even say my prayer for him. I didn't even like ask God to protect him through the night. So I just remember that whole morning praying, 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 like, please, like, don't be real. Like, this can't be real. Like, so it do be like eating me up sometimes really bad about that. And my brother too, because my brother was supposed to go with him. But he was like, no, I'm not gonna go, I'm just gonna stay in, I'm not gonna go. So he'd be like fighting himself too, like, dang, I should have went with him. If I would have went with him, he probably would still be here. I would have saved him. So yeah, that was. I just sometimes wish I would have made him stay inside. I wish I would have tried just a little bit harder to make him stay inside. And I wish I never fell asleep because I would have came speeding to him if that phone call was, you know, the call for help or whatever the case may be. I wish I did not fall asleep. It's a lot of things that I wish I would have did differently that I feel like if I did do, he would still be here.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
How have you been dealing with it? Like, how do you cope?
Uh, I write a lot inside a journal I have. I write a lot. I write as if I'm talking to him, as if I'm writing letters to him. And sometimes when I don't want to write and it's just like I just don't want to feel nothing, I drink, which is probably a bad coping mechanism. I don't encourage nobody to do that, but
Yeah.
sometimes I do. But or I kick it with Kay when I need a code. Like, come on, Kay, like let's watch some movies or you know let's go play or something like that. But that's when I can. But most of the time, I don't know. I guess it just depends on how I'm feeling at the time.
Does she see you when you cry, or do you shield her from that?
Yeah, I think she has seen me cry like one time, and she was like, "It's okay, mommy. It's okay." And I just was like, "Dang, like she can't see me weak like this." So ever since then, I try to like go lock myself in the closet or something, or let everything out while she's sleeping because she don't really understand. I don't think.
Does that make it? Do you think that affects your grief process? Because, like for me, I cried a lot. I cried a whole lot. Like, I don't know how I ever got rid of the bags under my eyes. Like, I couldn't do anything. I really, at one point, like, I couldn't even have sex, like, in the middle of sex. And I thought that that would help me. I started crying. Like, we had to stop. And, um, but like I have K a lot. And then there's Divine, or there's just like, it's always somebody around. So I feel like I can't cry to like when I want to or need to. Like I have to put it away. Like how you said you see me at the courthouse the other day. Like I don't even know. I don't think I knew how to react, but I knew what I felt inside. And I just always feel like I have to be the strong one.
Yeah.
They can't see me cry. They can't see me hurt. They can't see me going through it because if I break, they're going to break.
We
But at times I know that that's not healthy
yeah.
because I'm not dealing with myself or letting what needs to come out when it needs to come out. But you being a full time and then now like a single parent, like you can't be like, okay, go in there with your dad. Like I got to deal with this now. Like you have to deal with it all.
I don't care. I'm gonna let it out. So like I said, I usually like I'll go and hide from her or from everybody, anybody that's around me. I'll go and hide, or if I'm with that person that I know is like my comfort zone, sometimes I will cry to them. But definitely, I'm definitely gonna hide it from her. Um, but I'm gonna let it out because I just be thinking sometimes. I be like, dang, like this is really my life right now. This was never part of the plan.
Wow.
This was never part of the plans. We had big plans, and this was like you supposed to be here with me. And sometimes I know it's not right, but sometimes I'm angry with him. Like, dude, you just left me with this baby, like, and now I'm doing it all on my own. And I be questioning myself, like, if he was here, is this how he would want me to do it? Am I doing it right? Like, so I'm gonna let it out because it's hard. Like, I never wanted kids. I never wanted a kid. I didn't want. No, I was gonna be. I never wanted kids. And I think it's because growing up, I basically raised my siblings. So it's like I don't want to do this. I don't want kids. So I never wanted kids. So when I did have a kid, luckily I was one of the lucky ones who had, you know, a good partner. So I wasn't really concerned about like I knew he was going to be there, and I knew that we were probably going to be together. So I wasn't worried about that. So when he did get taken away from us, it just was like, dang, what are the plans now?